The team of Nigel McGuinness and Chris Marval making their Wildside debut here, Scott. This week on NWA Wildside, Chris Marval, most notably known for the severe broken leg he suffered at one of the very first Ring of Honor shows up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was one of the most grotesque Joe Namath-esque injuries in wrestling history. His leg literally broke in half.
That's interesting because Joe Namath never broke his leg.
Joe Theismann, excuse me.
Thank you.
I'm not a football scholar. You'll never hear me compared to Jim Ross.
There are worse things to have happen. Oh, and Vincent paying the VIP. And I got to tell you, look at Mikal Adyran. The guy's a stud out there. He's a big guy. Obviously, we've seen him in the ring and handle himself. Why is he associating himself with an uber doofus like Scott E. Smooth? What on earth? How does this benefit Mikal Adyran? You tell me.
An uber doofus.
Thank you.
That is probably the most apt description of Scotty Smooth I have ever heard. Big arm drag by Chris Marval. And what resiliency by this guy coming back after that hideous injury. It certainly puts some vicious out of wrestling, but then again, so does a good season of softball.
Sorry about that, Sid. A point of the elbow into the shoulder of VIP and Chris Marval. Our first look at Marval and Nigel McGuinness. Came out wearing a nice pop t-shirt like that. Oh, a 2 count that time on VIP.
Nigel McGuinness, a native of the UK, from NWA Wildside. Another one of the up-and-coming teams here, McGuinness and Marval, looking to make their name. Their first appearance, let's see what they got. Wildside always has an open door policy to new talent, but if you can't cut it, you'll find out real quick. Tremendous arm drag takeover by Nigel McGuinness.
Deep arm drag takeover, got him in deep, and look at that bridge out, the London Bridge, if you will, from Nigel McGuinness. McGuinness back into the armbar, top wrist lock. Scott E. Smooth jawing with the fans at ringside. What else is new? We got a loaded hour coming up on Wildside, Dragon.
Wildside tag team titles on the line. Future Shock set to defend against the Lost Boys, and that's coming up next, fans. Of course, Brandon Pease separated his shoulder 2 weeks ago on Wildside and has not been the same since. He is not cleared to wrestle. Rick Michaels says their 30-day defense limit is up. They must defend the titles tonight. He informed them of that last week. And as it stands right now, Jay Freeze is going to go at it 1-on-2 against the Lost Boys.
What? Wait a minute. Where did you hear that?
Well, Brandon Pease still in his street clothes backstage. And the last I saw, Jay Freeze was getting prepared for the matchup. And that was the word going around the locker room.
Has Jay lost his mind? 2-on-1 against the Lost Boys?
Well, if he wants to keep the titles, he really has no choice. Drop to hold there by Marval. Also, fans, Scotty Wren and Tank are going to be here to address the problems they've had as of late.
So many unanswered questions in that situation. They'll clear it up on this broadcast.
Slim J and Kid Cool going to get it on for top contendership to the Wildside Junior Heavyweight title. What a matchup that's going to be.
That title held currently by Roy Renaro.
Also, fans, the Wildside Heavyweight Champion Iceberg will make an offense. He's also at the 30-day limit. A mutual competitor was decided upon, not the #1 contender, but a contender nonetheless, to take on the Iceberg for the heavyweight title. Rick Michaels, Pride student Jason Blackman. Bailey's underestimating him. Rick Michaels is fully behind him. What will Jason Blackman do tonight against the Iceberg?
That is the great unanswered question of this broadcast, but there are a lot of them. Ren and Tank, what's going on with that situation? Jay Free taking on, both Lost Boys. That's suicide, if you ask me. And Iceberg and Jason Blackman later. Don't go anywhere. Grab a cold drink, sit down and enjoy pro wrestling at its best here at Wildside.
Hook of a leg there by Marval. And this guy, Marval, a Texas native. Another one of the Rudy Boy Gonzalez trainees we've had here. Also had some training under Shawn Michaels. Oh! Chris Marval, one of the few of his class to not really break out. And that's probably due to that severe leg injury that he suffered last year.
Exactly. He got sidetracked for at least a year with that injury at the Ring of Honor.
And now Chris Marval definitely wanting to make his name here in NWA Wildside, Scott.
Good place to start. If you can make it here, as they say, you can make it anywhere.
Marval going to work on the spine of Scotty Smooth.
Tag into the big man, Nigel McGuinness. Oh, and wide open was Scotty Smooth. Hit him in his mouth. You can't miss that big thing. Oh, nicely executed step suplex.
Scott Mikal Adyran watching on with frustration. The Swingers are getting their ass whooped by these newbies.
Absolutely. And the Brit McGuinness really handing it to Scotty Smooth. And Adyran cannot like what he's seeing. Oh!
And Juice and Jimmy Rivers just caught a cross-body.
Jimmy Rivers really got that cross body from McGuinness, and Scotty Smooth stepped out of the way. Scotty Smooth, that may be the only brain cell he had left that let him step out of the way of that cross body.
Rivers hasn't taken a cross body since 1928 when he took one from Ed the Strangler Lewis.
Oh, the Strangler. Look at this. Pinfall. McGuinness had him, but Rivers on Queer Street in there. Oh, and VIP from behind.
Did you say Jimmy Rivers was on Queer Street?
Hoping he wouldn't call attention to that. Oh! Big back body drop. Wait a minute. What is Adyran doing in the ring?
Mikal Adyran has shoved his
Adyran! Good night with a double clothesline.
And this big man has capitalized on this opportunity. Out of the ring goes Marvel. He's got Nigel McGuinness. Pump handle slide powerbomb.
He picks up what's left of Scotty Smooth and throws him on top of McGuinness. Good night, Adyran just rebooked the entire finish. That's a 3 count.
He single-handedly won this match for the Swingers.
Oh, Adyran. Payne and Smooth. The Swingers victorious here.